Oh God, I hope not. That's all I do all day is e-bag. All day, all night. That's what Papa does best. Reverse e-bag. What's that? Send in donations? Tell people don't send me money.
What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt we've been thinking for ourselves.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome.
This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were
God, I'm here, guys. Sorry. I know I'm running late again.
raised
Been scrambling to make Halloween, Liam's Halloween mask. What I had a process going with some paper mache and a blank mask. Then I realized it's not gonna work, so I had to immediately go full on for a full foam mask and make it all myself. So that's what I've been working on. And finally, my sander died, and I looked up and I was like, "Ah, fuck! I probably need to start a show, huh? If I'm gonna make any money today, I probably need to put out some content." What? That's right. The show is supported by Q-tards like you. Let's roll the intro.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Not exactly feeling like myself, but we're here anyways, huh? Welcome everybody. That was Linda Binda with the intro. Of course, she's doing the stuff on Jupiter, a documentary, hopefully on Jupiter, and she's planning on putting that out. She's done some updates for us, so we'll hopefully see how that turns out. You can find Linda Binda if you're interested in her content on TikTok, YouTube, and Cameo, which is where that video came from. Thank you all for joining us. Tonight, a little bit of a late start.
Just resubscribed for 13 months.
Thank you for the resubscription. 13 months resubscribe. Thank you very much for that. I do want to read a quote here real quick as we start. I haven't used an actual quote, or I haven't read the actual quote. We've talked about it, we've paraphrased it, but this is the actual quote from one of the five, under the direct order of Phildo, one Mr. General Flynn. Phil's his supervisor, okay? Phil's his supervisor. Phil's the six, top of the five. This is one of the five. And what do we end up from one of the five with? Well, we end up with this quote at minimum. Give me just a second. I don't think something's not showing up here on the counts. I know what I forgot to do. Hold on just a second, guys. Forgot to work the YouTube video. Disable that. It's unlisted, but I need monetization on. Save. It'll give me a restriction. I'll ask for a review. Let's see. Add suitability. Okay. Request review. Boom. Bing, bong, boom. Pussy. That's how it works. They're not going to like that when they review it for monetization, but oh well. Anyways, back to Discord. So this was an actual tweet in response to MJ Truth Ultra. Who is MJ Truth Ultra? I'm glad you asked. At MJ Truth Ultra. And General Flynn responded to this from his accounts. Misspelled truth. TRUTHULTRA. MJ Truth Ultra. That is this account right here. Ultra MJ Truth. Researcher, truth seeker, humor specialist, unshakable faith. They have a show called MJ Truth Talk here with 50,000 followers on Rumble. Looks like a conspiracy channel. Looks like a truther. Looks like a conspiracy guy sharing all the Trump shit, sharing all the QAnon shit, right? So Flynn actually responds to a tweet they put out. I'm not sure which one it was, but he responds to it from his actual verified account and says this. I wish he just made a post and not responded to this guy. This just gives this guy any bit of credibility you give to this guy is bad. But we'll see quickly that Flynn plays both sides of the game, okay? So here's what we end up with. General Mike Flynn at Jen Flynn on Twitter. It says, here's my take on Q. I believe it is a major psyop, and from whatever I can tell, it or they or whatever or whoever is running this op has done a major disservice. What I see are a bunch of people sitting and waiting for something to happen instead of doing what I have been calling for now quite some time, local action, in parentheses. The nonsense about Trump is still the president and the military is coming to the rescue is just that, nonsense. Do you guys remember when Flynn went on Doug Billings' show and they asked him if the military was in charge and there was a way for Trump to come back and take over and all that stuff? And he's like, I don't know. And then he's like, but you would tell us if that was true. And he's like, as far as I know, that's not true. But if there's a way, he'll find, giving them this little bit of fucking hope. He's trying to wash his hands of this the same way he did when he helped lobby in Israeli fucking spyware on everybody's cell phone in the world, the Pegasus software. He's trying to wash his hands of this like he had never had anything to do with it. That's a lie. We all watched him. He's been on all the truth tours. He's hit all the talking points. The first time he had a major falling out with him was when Lynn Wood accused him of doing satanic prayers. But before that, he was sucking Q's dick. He took a Q oath, for God's sakes. Anyways, he says, what I've been calling for quite some time, parentheses, local action. The nonsense about Trump is still the president and the military is coming to the rescue is just that nonsense. I wasn't belittling Dave. He's a big boy. I was being brutally honest. Like it or not, or believe it or not, Rome is burning, Nero, and the Bucket Brigade is getting low on water. And like it or not, parentheses, I don't, we have a person in the White House that is there following a constitutional process. Note, I didn't say a fair election, which I don't believe occurred, which is basically him saying like, oh, I don't Q's all bullshit, but the election was rigged. But come on, shut the fuck up. Prove it or shut the fuck up. That's what you should call people out now. Prove it or shut the fuck up. Note, I did not say a fair election, which I don't believe occurred. Lastly, I so respect your smart statement and most definitely appreciate your support as well as Dave's. I'm a big fan of X-22. So something came out about, I guess, Flynn talking about X-22 or saying that X-22 was wrong or it was silly or some shit like that. It says, I also appreciate the support by many of the digital soldiers who did and do support me. Digital soldiers was always synonymous with this Q thing. You'll find out, if you dig deep enough, Michael Flynn has registered several businesses and websites relating around digital soldiers and digital warfare and stand-up digital soldier. And he's got a bunch of shit around digital soldier. And he tied it all to Q back in the day, but now he's trying to wash his hands. What it tells me is like even he looks around and says, okay, look, this has kind of run its course. If something doesn't happen quick, I don't want to go down with the ship, right? Q's going down. It's all grandmas and shit. The young influencers that, held on, the people that actually matter and vote, not just elderly women, which seems to be the vast majority of these people's audience base, have jumped ship. A lot of people have jumped ship. And he knows time's running out on what'll still be profitable, what'll still be good publicity for him, and where he needs to be. So Flynn's trying to wash his hands of this. He's trying to pull his business he has, which is Digital Soldiers LLC. He's trying to pull that out and separate himself before it goes down as the biggest nothing burger in history, right? There's not going to be anything happen, and everybody's going to be standing around saying, well, he told us, and they told us, and this person said, and that person said, and we heard that this happened. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to get away from that. He to be fair, I mean, he played the hand he was dealt. Okay, I do believe that he didn't get. I believe that the FBI, when they charged him and then allegedly, supposedly, basically did something illegal, which is weighing his son's freedom against his, when they offered him a deal. When they did that, I don't think what they did was illegal. It was 100% by the books. I think it was shady. I think it was shitty. I think they wouldn't do it to anybody else, but they were looking for something to snatch him on. I think a lot of people have probably made that mistake.
Hatchy Country just resubscribed for 15 months. Hope you're in better spirits. Hope you're in better spirits.
Not really, but we're faking it good. So thank you very much, Hatchy Country, for the resubscription. I think many people have probably made the same mistake he did. I think it was done kind of dirty, but it was by the letter of the law. So when I say this, I guess a good analogy would be, imagine a cop sitting at a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone, and he lets a car go by at 35, a car go by at 37, maybe even a car go by at 40, and then he knows someone that's driving by, and they're driving 31, and he pulls them over and writes them a ticket. Right? Technically, by the letter of the law, they did something wrong, right? They're doing 31 and a 30. But everybody's going above 30, right? Everybody that's went by so far has went. So I think it's kind of dirty in that account, because from what I can read from the account, it was like they were just having a conversation. He was basically just, just kind of agreeing with them. They thought that they were going to be working together on this other project, when in fact it was more like they were trying to entrap him in saying no when they brought up a statement that he had previously said yes to, basically. If you go back and look at it, he had previously testified yes to something about him talking to a Russian, Turkish something ambassador. And then they were basically firing these questions at him while they were setting up for a meeting. And when he said no instead of yes, they got him for lying to an FBI agent. So he is trying to separate his business, his ability to make money. He played the hand he was dealt, and he grifted it well. He played the hand he was dealt, and he made a lot of money off of it. He made a lot of waves. He got a lot of followers. Before all this happened, very few people even knew a lot about Flynn, right? It was more like people knew him because he was a general. He didn't really have this big public persona. He didn't have a whole lot going on outside of him just being a general, and a few people that served in the military, or maybe even a few people followed him on social media, but it was nothing like it is now. It was nothing like it is now. He's made a name for himself. He's out here going on tours. He's selling that fucking weird ass artwork that he does from the commanders, generals, fucking super artist. And he sold his book. He's repaid his legal fees. I understand he sold his house and lost his money trying to defend himself. He's made that up tenfold now. I guarantee you. So I believe that he was probably done dirty, but he's made it into a money-making venture for him. If you want to call it the grift, you can call it the grift. If you want to call it using the hand he was dealt, you can call it that. I personally think he's grifting the fuck out of these people, and just none of them want to admit it. Let's see. Oh, I didn't finish reading it, did I? Hold on, let me pull it back up. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, where was I at? Support as well for Dave's. I'm a big fan of X22. I also appreciate the support of my many digital soldiers who did and do support me. Thank you will never be enough. However, I want us to face reality for what it is, and it is staring us in the face currently, and it's ugly. But never, ever give up. And trust me, There will always be silver linings. We just have to find them and exploit them as soon and for as long as possible. God bless. And then he tags MJ Truth Ultra. Now, I don't know what post this was on. Obviously, it had something to do with Dave from X22. But that's the post that he responded to. And he come out and called it all a sop. It's all bullshit after he's done all these other things. Let's see if we can find this. I wanted to see that video. Holy War. There's what is this? This is the Young Turks, but let's see what this is. Oh, I have to turn on the audio for you guys. All right, there we go.
States' rights. Did you know that a governor can declare war? Governor can declare war. Okay? Yep. And we're gonna probably see that.
A governor can declare war?
That is Michael Flynn, former, national security advisor to Donald Trump.
I want to see him.
Before we figured out,
I wanted to see him where he takes his cue out.
Michael
There's a video
Flynn,
of it somewhere.
who was national security advisor at the beginning of the Trump administration, that's an important job, is now backtracking on a statement he made appearing to endorse a Myanmar-style coup in the United States. That would be a military coup in the United States. For months, QAnon and Trump-supporting online forums have been celebrating the deadly coup in which the military there overthrew a democratically elected government and called for the U.S. military to do the same. CNN's Donny O'Sullivan live in Las Vegas with much more on this.
He represented Turkey at a point. He has a business that does that. He has, what is it? The Flynn Holding Group. What's it called? Flynn Intel Group. Yeah, he represents. That's not what he was charged with by the FBI. So that has nothing to do with what I said.
Go ahead, Donny.
Hey, John, pretty surreal stuff. Flynn made these comments at what was essentially a QAnon conference that took place in Dallas over the holiday weekend. Have a listen.
I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here. No reason. I mean, it should happen here. No reason.
A former U.S. Army Lieutenant General and former...
What did he just say?
Conference that took place in Dallas over the holiday weekend.
Thank you.
Have a listen.
I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't...
Oh, thank you. Happy Halloween. Thank you very much. I'm going to, I might actually end up Myanmar. I might actually end up missing a show. I got to get these masks done, like, no matter what. But thank you. Happy Halloween to you guys, too. I was planning on having it done for Tuesday, but we're having one where we're having like a Halloween thing where we live on Saturday. So I got to get the mask done. But happy Halloween. I hope the kids enjoy it. I saw you've been posting pictures of that or videos of that German Shepherd. It's a good looking dog.
In Dallas over the holiday weekend. Have a listen.
I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here. No reason. I mean, it should happen here. No reason.
A former U.S. Army Lieutenant...
I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here.
What happened in Myanmar can't...
Oh, yeah. I said German Shepherd, but I'm not good with dog breeds. But it's a cool dog either way.
Happen here. No,
I want to know why what happened in Myanmar can't happen here, which was a coup.
A former U.S. Army Lieutenant General and former National Security Advisor appearing to endorse a military coup here in the United States.
Trump won. He won the popular vote and he won the Electoral College vote.
Michael Flynn spent Memorial Weekend at a conference in Dallas attended by QAnon supporters. So too did Sidney Powell, who was part of the former president's election legal team. Powell, who has represented Flynn, said Monday that the media had grossly distorted Flynn's comments. She denied Flynn had encouraged violence or a military insurrection, but she didn't explain.
Just saying that the election was stolen and nobody's doing anything about it is enough to, I mean, if I honestly thought that, I would probably be out in the fucking streets screaming and yelling. And like, if I honestly believed that, like, my vote didn't fucking count, I had no say, nothing fucking works, they did it blatantly right in front of I would be out there fucking mad as hell. The problem is, every time they showed me a piece of evidence and said, look, this looks weird, when you looked 5 minutes into it, you're like, oh, well, that's got a completely reasonable explanation.
What Flynn had meant. Powell herself spoke of removing Biden from office over the weekend.
We're definitely in uncharted territory. There are cases where elections have been overturned, but there's never been one at the presidential level, which everybody...
Oh, there's that guy I was just talking about, right? That's I said his name earlier. What's his name? Fuck, I can't remember his name now. Doug Billings. That's the guy I was talking about.
Jump to point out. That doesn't mean that it can't be done, though.
Flynn was on his show dropping hints.
That a new inauguration date is set. And Biden is told to move out of the White House. And President Trump...
And now she's pled guilty to try to get out of trying to manipulate the election in Georgia. It's funny, they showed us these little snippets and they showed us little videos and they showed us images and they told us stories about being online, and we got the data packets and we've got Scorecard and Hammer and the Kraken, and we know about the Seidel servers. It's funny, they told us all of that, but the people that are coming up guilty and pleading guilty to it were the ones that were actually trying to change the outcome of the election and trying to bypass the way people had voted.
Should be moved back in.
The heavily criticized Republican-led audit in Arizona has given followers of QAnon and the Big Lie hope that the election could still be overturned. And some are finding inspiration in the deadly military coup in Myanmar as a way to put Trump back in power. Flynn's comments were seen as an endorsement of a coup by some QAnon followers. They were welcomed overnight by a prominent peddler of QAnon who has more than 70,000 followers on Telegram, writing...
The way I understand the FBI charging Flynn for lying to the FBI was when he took his office, when he took his job in the office with Trump as national security advisor, he had a couple goals that he wanted to address, a couple target metrics he wanted to go to. This involved coordination with the FBI. Now, before that, he had testified to the FBI or had answered the FBI and told them about conversations he had with a Russian ambassador. Now, when they met, it was he met with two FBI agents that were taking notes under the pretense that they were going to be working on and recording. They were recording and taking notes, but that they were going to be working on Flynn's new initiative and they were going to talk about it and kind of spitball some ideas and stuff that he wanted to tackle from his current position. During that conversation, there was a bunch of rapid fire questions that were coming around and things that were talked about, and they had asked him again if he had spoken to this Russian ambassador, and this time he said no. Now, at the time, they just completed the meeting. They spitballed ideas. They went back, whatever. When they went back with their notes and their recording, they said, oh, he said yes once and no this other time. So he's lying to us. We can charge him.
General Flynn's...
Which I think is a kind of a shady tactic, but by the letter of the law, it's illegal, right? He lied to the FBI.
Says the quiet part out loud.
But the other crazy shit he's doing ought to have charges attached to it.
Earlier this year, Trump supporters in California also cheered on the coup.
Biden is he's like a puppet president. The military is in charge. It's going to be like Myanmar. What's happening in Myanmar? The military.
I feel like there's so many motherfuckers out here that believe this shit. Let's see. Somebody sent me some more videos on Flynn. Let's grab this one first.
I still say it, and wherever the damn live stream is, Donald Trump is still the president of the United States. They can call me whatever they want. There it is, right there. They can call me whatever they want because there's no way in the world that 81 million, I don't see 81 million people wearing Build Back Better hats. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to belay here because it's been a long couple of days. I wanted just to show you why.
I do think it's pretty fucked up that Trump told people not to mail in vote, and he lost some votes that way. There are people that legitimately support Trump that would have voted for Trump in 2020 that for whatever reason, something popped up, an emergency, they got sick, blah, 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 that probably would have mail-in voted, that didn't because Trump told them it wasn't secure. And that was the big giant blue wave that come in, was all the mail-in voting being counted.
I do what I do, and I wanted to show you a little glimmer of how you might do it.
Could all this Q stuff be an op in order to direct censorship of platforms to get around your right to free speech? Just need public to bull over to give valid reason. We already have a new law coming in soon, as we don't have a strict free speech. I don't know. I mean, like, I debate this back and forth. Like, I love free speech. I think we should have free speech. I love our right to free speech. I'm not a big fan of censorship unless it's condoning or advocating for violence or something like that. The problem is I say all those things, and then I see some of the crazy shit like people that follow Phil say, and I'm like, God damn, they shouldn't be allowed on the internet to say this. I want to think that people are smarter, that people are better, that people are more responsible for the things that they're going to say, the things that they're going to type, the things that they're going to put out, but they're not. So when I advocate for it, I think about me. Like, I'm not going to call for violence. I'm not going to fucking call for hanging or thrashing or with no evidence whatsoever be like, this person's a pedophile and we should go kill them. But then I turn around and these people do it. I just don't get it. Now, let's see what this is. What the hell? Did you send me a tweet that don't exist, Dr. J? I just clicked on that tweet and it says, am I blocked maybe? This page doesn't, or did you hit an extra button when you typed it in? Can you send me that link again in mod chat? I guess I can open it up. Hold on. Copy link. I'll open it up in a, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I just closed all my fucking windows. Hold on just a second. Shit. Let's open back up those 32 fucking tabs I just closed. All right, new incognito window. I want to see his stupid fucking Q oath he did. Yeah, this page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. I can't even open it up in incognito mode. So, I mean, that could be me too, but I'm not positive. What if I change accounts? No, I can't get it there either. Was something wrong with that link, Dr. J? Okay. Thank you. I got it now. Yeah, that's it. That is 4th of July celebration. That's exactly it. You're right.
I, Jack Flynn, do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties. Of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go all. God bless America.
Where we go one, we go all. What is that a slogan for? Is that a slogan for the United States military? Or via the being part of the United States presidential cabinet? Why would you add that in at the end of the oath? This is his fucking QAnon oath he did with his whole family, where he literally took the oath of office and added "where we go one, we go all" at the end of it.
So help me God. Where we go one, we go all. God bless America.
While he tries to say that he's this QAnon stuff is bullshit. We shouldn't vote. It's always been a sop. It's all bullshit. Yeah, he's been there since the start of it. Even Sidney Powell responded to this. To all those apparently traumatized or struggling to comprehend General Flynn video above, including the hashtag left and regressive media, the oath comes from the federal statute 5 USC 1331. Yeah, but where's the "where we go one, we go all"? That's not in there. Fuck General Flynn. Like, I used to have some respect for him before Trump or anything like that. I knew who he was. But fuck him now. I'm done. I'm done. You can't backpedal now and pretend like it's not happening. That's not the way it works. The reason we brought up Flynn in the first place is, one, he works for Phil, right? He's part of the Five. Two, he's come out and completely denied QAnon and called it all, which we've heard this before. So he was secretly recorded by Lynn Wood, and he was calling people that followed Q crazy people, and it was a fucking conspiracy theory, and he didn't believe none of it. And it was like two friends talking. He wasn't like, I completely renounce QAnon. It was like, yeah, that stuff's crazy. Those people that follow that are crazy. That's wild. I don't even know if the government made that up. Like, I don't believe any of that. Kind of like two friends talking. So we've heard all this before, but it's now so in your face they can't deny it. Before with the Lynn Wood thing, Phil tried to tell him it was all made up and it was fake. Now he's just responding with people on Twitter saying, hey, it's bullshit. The Trump's not still president. The military's not coming to save you. Everything that people like Phil tell you is a lie. But what you guys forget is we have a Mike Flynn insider. That's right. General Michael Flynn insider. We've got basically, as part of our community, a loving and supporting and donating member of the community has basically best friends with Michael Flynn's baby mama's second cousin's brother's uncle on his dad's side, second cousin. And that is one Miss Kathy H. Cunt.
First of all, you need to remember that Mike Flynn has been the subject of the cabal's anger since the day he retired, because he knew what was going on in the military prior to his retirement.
Hey, but girl, I see you. Hey, Kettleheads.
And the person that he worked the closest with happens to be one of my good friends.
Okay.
I will tell you that
the person that he's ever worked the closest with happens to be one of my good friends, which that right there tells us all we need to know. The person that he worked the closest with
happens to be one of my good friends. I will tell you that most of the garbage that is in this is printed by somebody who doesn't know him very well.
It would be you, Q Idiot, but I don't even think you support the show as much as Kathy H does.
Has no idea.
Every time she speaks, people are like, God damn, this bitch is crazy. Where's CBC at? So there you go.
About the fact that digital warriors would have followed Mike Flynn to hell and back, and we still will. I took the oath with, I'm trying to think of the guy that started the oath before Mike Flynn was released from his legal problems, because he couldn't do anything before that. Mike Flynn is part of the Q team. He always was. 33 years in the military and a highly decorated general. He is very much and always was part of the planning team, trying to keep a half a step ahead of the cabal all this time. Now, just like I don't let anyone bash anybody on my channel, I will defend Michael until the day I die. I didn't have to meet him, but I was led to that meeting. Now, Michael's not part of a trafficking network. He is, if he ever became part of the Masons, it was part of the underlings, because it was something you did in the military. I have a
Oh, so he accidentally became part of the Masons, which they said there are no good Masons. Just like Phil accidentally thought he went to Harvard for a while and got a master's degree, which he thought was less than an associate's degree, right? He was just duped into it, right? He probably got an email that said, send us $650 and start telling everybody that you're a fucking Mason, part of the Harvard division. It's probably the same guy.
Cousin who's a general, and I can tell you.
You know, once you get on an email list, like you're part of the Five or the leader of the Five, you probably get the same emails from the same fucking advertisers, the same scammers.
Until the day I die. I didn't have to meet him, but I was led to that meeting. Now, Michael is not part of a trafficking network. He is, if he ever became part of the Masons, it was part of the underlings, because it was something you did in the military. I have a cousin who's a general, and I can tell you Stu was in the Masons. But he's...
Your cousin Stu's a general.
Not evil, and neither is Michael.
And he's a Mason.
I cannot believe the shit people make up just to make themselves
Oh my
relevant.
God. Are you trying to question the fact that they're on a first name basis, Dr. J? Did you not hear this? Her best friend is the closest confidant to Michael Flynn. Duh. I do honestly believe, I do not believe, I've heard Kathy H talk about how she's close to this general. She used to not name him. She used to say the general, blah, blah. I do think I don't think she's making it up. I think someone's telling her this shit. Like, I just talked to the general today, and he said he loves you, and he was glad to meet you, and blah. I think that's all bullshit that someone's giving her, and she's just repeating it. But she's so gullible, she can believe it.
General, and I can tell you Stu was in the Masons. But he's not evil, and neither is Michael. I cannot believe the shit people make up just to make themselves relevant. Now, there are 4 sites that are being seriously looked at because of false information and completely and totally making up crap. And I'm on this truth thing, but I watch it very closely because I've been taking myself off of pages all over Telegram because I'm seeing the handwriting on the wall. But I'm going to tell you right here and right now, Michael Flynn is exactly who he says he is. He's exactly who I believe he is. And he's a lot more than that, but we can't tell all of that. Bucky was on my page for a very long time. As a matter of fact, he's the person that convinced me to start my own page because we needed a place to share the truth.
Okay. Thank God.
Bucky has severe PTSD. And
Bucky is apparently who she's letting us know is best friends with General Flynn. The closest confidant with Michael, if you want to be proper.
Losing his mother last year, which I've got to...
He's got PTSD because his mother died.
He's exactly who I believe he is. And he's a lot more than that, but we can't tell all of that. Bucky was on my page.
Do you guys remember last year when the hurricane come through Florida and she tried to tell everybody that she was leading some type of military action response team to search down a missing sailboat? And the way she searched for it was asking people on Telegram, have you seen this sailboat?
Page for a very long time. As a matter of fact, he's the person that convinced me to start my own page because we needed a place to share the truth. Bucky has severe PTSD, and losing his mother last year, which I've got to start getting in touch with him more often because it's the anniversary of his mother's death this month. But Bucky's PTSD has gotten way ahead of him, and he has sought treatment. He's moved to North Carolina. He's doing much better. But he was Mike Flynn's sidekick and his attaché for years. He can finish Michael's sentences.
His attaché.
And there was something
Why does she say it so weird?
Right in about he's doing much better. But he was Mike Flynn's sidekick and his attaché for years. And his attaché for years. He can finish Michael's sentences. And there was something I did right in about September. Well, no, it was after that. It was probably December or January of 2022. We discovered that there was a certain page that was being labeled to be taken down. And I messaged Bucky and I said, I need General Flynn's permission to move the contents of that page onto something I can manage and we can save the contents.
I need Bucky. I know you've got PTSD because your mom died last year. Got it. But I need General Flynn's written consent, all of his permission that I can take down random Telegram posts and put them up somewhere else so we can save them. Mike Flynn's not even on Telegram. Who did you call and who did you ask?
He knew exactly who I was talking about.
Oh, exactly.
He contacted Michael. And he said she wants to move all of the contents to a page that she's going to name after her. Not about the bridge, but after her.
After her. Not about the bridge, after her. It's called Kathy H. Will Not Comply is the name of the group.
Can she do that and does she have your blessing? And the answer was, tell her I love her. I can't wait to meet her.
What? What? So some guy who claims to know General Flynn, she calls some guy named Bucky who has PTSD because his mom died and says, hey, I know you've told me before you know Michael Flynn. I don't know him. I've never met him at this point. I don't know who the fuck he is, except for on TV like everybody else. I need you to ask him if I can remove all the posts from Mike Flynn that are not his, that are made up fucking accounts pretending to be him, to a page that I named Kathy H something, will not comply. I need you to ask him if that's okay with him. And he responds, tell Kathy I love her and she has my full express written consent. What? Who would ever respond like that? Tell the random lady from Florida I've never met, Bucky, I love her. And I want her. I love that she wants to move my posts. The fuck?
And I didn't meet him until last summer. He looked right at me and he said, I like Veronica's page, by the way.
He looked right at me and said, I love Veronica. Now, this is bullshit. This is 100% a lie. Again, do you think Flynn, even if he was on Telegram, what are the chances he finds a page with 46 people in it? I love you and I love Veronica's page.
And yes, I've always known who you were. Bucky tells me about you all the time.
So just when she first meets him, she comes up to him and says, hello, General Flynn. And he said, I love Veronica's page, by the way, and I've always known who you are. And Bucky tells me about you all the time, Kathy H. Oh, okay. That's a weird way to meet someone that you paid to meet at a truth tour.
He said, I don't know what took us so long. And I said, well, it's because we kept passing each other in the night. And he goes, no, never was nighttime. We've just been floating by each other, going in the same direction, and you keep doing what you're doing. Because he knows what I do.
What do you do? You're a Telegram grandma. What do you do? This is some type of weird Mike Flynn fan fiction where then he took you out and he loaded a dryer or a wash machine with a very uneven load, like a pair of socks on one side and a fucking comforter on the other side. Then he made you set your vulva right on the corner of the dryer or the wash machine, and he put it on heavy duty cycle. Got you all warmed up.
I don't believe an inch of that. Like I said, he probably was a Mason at one point because everyone in the military that was working their way through the ranks did that.
Yeah, a telegram.
They didn't realize what it was for until much later, and they would never go through the end of it.
A heavy washer cycle telegramma.
And I don't care what you think about Mary. She's a wonderful person. She started americasfuture.net on her own.
On her own. On her own. All by herself. I don't care what you think about Mary. She started a website on her own. Okay. Lots of people do that. I own like 9.
And she got Michael involved afterwards. He was so busy with the Reawakening tour, he didn't have time.
I think the reason they start with a wash machine, especially with old ladies, they're hoping some fabric softener will bounce up in there because most of their slickum is all powder by this point. I mean, she's like 9,000 years old. It's like opening an Egyptian king's fucking sarcophagus. You know what I'm saying? Like just dust and scarab beetles.
But he does now. They are organizing and they are raising massive amounts of money to help take care of these children that they're finding. Because some of the parents either don't know they still...
I'd like to get in that telegramma's burial chamber.
He was so busy with the Reawakening tour, he didn't have time. But he does now. They are organizing and they are raising... I don't believe an inch of that. Like I said, he probably wasn't. It's because we kept passing each other in the night. And he
Not that nighttime.
Never was nighttime.
Why haven't we met before, Kathy H? I love you and I love your Telegram page. Why haven't we met before? I suppose we keep passing each other in the night. It's never nighttime. I see you in the day in all your glory. I love you.
We've just been floating by each other.
Have I showed you my Maytag?
Going in the same direction, and you keep doing what you're doing.
Somebody
because he knows what I do.
please write a short story about Kathy H. and General Flynn meeting at a Truth Tour meetup that she paid for, and him sliding off her fucking poise pads to get a little bit of that truffle butter.
I don't believe an inch of that. Like I said, he probably was a Mason at one point, because everyone in the military that was working their way through the ranks did that. They didn't realize what it was for until much later, and they would never go through the end of it. And I don't care what you think about Mary. She's a
You can call her Telegramma extraordinaire.
wonderful person. She started americasfuture.net on her own, and she got Michael involved afterwards. He was so busy with the Reawakening tour he didn't have time, but he does now. They are organizing, and they are raising massive amounts of money to help take care of these children that they're finding.
Massive amounts.
Because some of the parents either don't know they still exist, or they can't find the parents, but they've got to be housed somewhere. We'll figure this out. But we're not going to be throwing arrows at people who are trying to make a difference. As far as Chris Sky is concerned, Christopher is 100% right. Chris Sky has his own Telegram page. He's on and off YouTube, but mostly he's on Rumble as Chris Sky. And I met him at Michael Flynn's americasfuture.net opening event.
At a website? You met him at a website?
I didn't know why I was there, but I figured it out afterwards.
Okay, she didn't know why she was there, but she figured it out afterwards. Sounds like a case of dementia, but I don't know. I have no idea why I was there, but I found it out afterwards. I keep seeing people in chat talking about the shooter. I guess we can check in on it. There's a
some video because I want to focus on
a mass casualty event in Maine.
Jack Mulman was at Central Maine Medical Center. I believe we have some video there. There were families kind of gathered outside the door. You can see even inside the hospital. It looks like they're staging hospital beds in what appear to be hallways. Just because this
I think he's still loose.
For them to
Kathy H is fucking crazy.
Family members there just waiting to hear the news. Communicating with what appears to be maybe hospital staff, going through perhaps names of victims. These families just absolutely likely heartbroken, anxious. Jack even said some he spoke to were angry about what happened tonight, and to see that many people just swarm around a hospital in the state of Maine is not something we've ever seen before.
Never. And do we have the sound queued up, guys? I know Jack had spoken with a woman who was just waiting to hear word on her son.
Oh, Kathy, when she says Mary, Kathy's talking about a woman named Mary O'Neill, who's part of that nonprofit. AmericasFuture.net is like a nonprofit and LLC, something. I can't remember. Yeah, it's just something to do with that. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that General Flynn's chairman of, and Mary's like the one of the executive officers.
A little freaked out. I want to know. You know what I mean? He's a young man. They shouldn't leave us hanging like this. Just tell us.
I don't think they should be interviewing people right now like this, standing outside the hospital that haven't heard about their family yet. That's pretty fucked up.
I feel so bad for his wife. I mean, my kid, I don't know what's going on with him.
They told us that. Wow. So just that sheer panic, I can't even begin to fathom what those families are experiencing tonight.
Yeah.
I believe we have News Center Maine's Hannah Kumler joining us now. She's live in Lisbon Falls, where there's a lot of police activity there. Hannah, what are you seeing?
Hey, Zach. Yeah, we've actually changed location. Before, when we saw you last time, we were across the street here. Now we're right in front of Lisbon High School, which you can see, but we were actually instructed to leave.
Yeah, I've already got it.
An officer came over to us who was heavily armed and said, do with this information what you will, but we are working a scene a half mile away, and I don't know how safe it is for
22 people dead.
Should we get in our car or leave? He said, I would not be here. So Sam and I
50 to 60 injured.
A little bit further away. I want to tell you, though, what happened while we were waiting from my last live shot to this current one. There's a police...
It says the guy's name is Robert Card. Lewiston Police Department has identified Robert Card as a person of interest in 2 shootings in Lewiston. Card is a 40-year-old and should be considered armed and dangerous, according to a Facebook post from Lewiston Police Department. Law enforcement officials in Maine described Card as certified firearms instructor and a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. Quote, law enforcement is attempting to locate Robert Card, 4/4/1983, as a person of interest regarding the mass shooting at Schemengees Bar and Spare Time Recreation this evening. Card should be considered armed and dangerous. Please contact law enforcement if you're aware of his whereabouts.
Presence, a strong one, blocking Frost Hill Ave, which is what I
told
from
you 6 minutes ago.
Road that we attempted to go down, but we're turned around. We were trying to get to a boat launch at the end of that road, and now that road is completely blocked off. There is, I don't know, probably 15 police vehicles in total over there, but within like a 5-minute stretch, it really seemed like police were gearing up, loading weapons and putting them on, and then all of their lights went off. That's the only thing we observed before we were instructed to leave. Now, we have been here at Lisbon High School for a few minutes since, and we can't see anything that is happening, but we were told that it is unsafe to be where we were, and so, of course, we did leave, and we'll continue to keep you updated. For those who missed us last time, we're in Lisbon Falls.
There's been a shelter-in-place order given for the area. 22 people are dead, many more injured, somewhere around 50 to 60 possibly injured. In 2022, there were only 29 homicides in the entire state of Maine. But tonight, it looks like there's already 22. It's horrible.
Here. And when we arrived, there was a chopper that's circling. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's still up there. We're going to try to see if we can capture it here for you. It has been circling now for, I don't know, upward near an hour with a spotlight pointing down. So it's definitely, as we've been mentioning this whole time, very active scene here. Androscoggin River is where that boat.
I heard they found his car at a boat launch, but there's apparently some people that are disputing that now. Not saying that it's not true, but saying that it hasn't come through official channels and nobody can confirm it yet.
As we told you at the end of Frost Hill Ave, the area we're in right now is Lisbon Falls, as I mentioned, but it's the Route 196 junction. It connects a lot of major roads. Lisbon Street, as I think Brian mentioned earlier, it's a major throughway, which is shut down right now, right up at that mobile station. And then the other road is Ridge Road, which is what Frost Hill Ave is off of. So all of these roads are blocked. Every vehicle that's going through, whether it's residents or people just traveling through, are being stopped by police officers asking where they're going. There's lights being shown in cars. And
it looks like he's driving a Subaru station wagon with a black front bumper. It's a white car with a black front bumper. They released a picture of it. It looks like he left the door open when he pulled up front, and he's not parked the way the rest of the cars are. It looks like he's maybe pulled up behind like a front parking space for like disabled people, blocking them from being able to pull out. So like everybody's parked this way. He pulled in behind them, left his door open, and went in and started shooting somewhere.
Are just very, very heavily monitoring this area. What that means remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
As we've been mentioning this entire time, it's horrible, devastating what's happening to us. It's not normal. But what is really impressive and reassuring is the response that we've seen throughout the state of Maine to make sure that we're safe. And so I think, as Amanda said earlier, if you are at home, stay at home, lock your doors, be as safe as you can be in the confines of your home. And we'll continue to keep you updated from here. But for now, Zach, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, Hannah Kumler there. We want to kind of give perspective about how far.
Dude, people are losing it every day.
We're talking about 10 miles.
People are losing it every fucking day.
And if Hannah Kumler's still with us, we'd love to talk to her some more about what she's seeing there. Hannah, when you first got there, I think you were pushed back from the scene. Have you been pushed back even further?
No, so originally when we got here, we attempted, Sam Rogers is here with me, to drive down to the boat launch. And there was some police set up down there who instructed us to come back up towards the end of the road. So we went down Frost Hill Ave and we had to come back up to this junction area. We were up kind of staged in when I first talked to you guys up by that gas station. And we've just been instructed to leave. And it was kind of like, you know, we were told.
This is why more than ever, you can put a 1 in the chat if you're interested in coming. This is why more than ever, I need to get a few harvests of mushrooms in and then have a very unofficial campground mushroom retreat where you can book one of the cabins and come trip some mushrooms with me while we stare in the river, okay? If you're interested in coming to my mushroom retreat, put a 1 in the chat. Etsuko, do you think you could convince your husband to come to the U.S.?
Do with the information what you will, but it is not safe. And so we have crossed the street down the road a little bit to Lisbon High, and that's where we're situated for now until we hear anything.
Get it for 2 days. The first night we eat mushrooms. The second night you can recover, and then you're out. Get a good reset.
Hannah, you mentioned Lisbon Street, major throughway, that's closed off right now. We're seeing some cars move behind you. Are cars being let through now, or is this mostly just police presence?
I should say, yeah, that's a great distinction, Amanda, that it is closed down. If Sam, can you pan over next to the gas station there? You can see where there's a sheriff's vehicle parked. That's where it stops. So vehicles are allowed to travel up to that point, and then it's kind of, do you live around here? Are you traveling through? And there's kind of almost like a checkpoint situation that's happening. So it's really only roads that are accessible to the Androscoggin River, which is in that direction. So kind of strategic blocks for the police, I'd say.
Anna Kumler live in Lisbon Falls tonight. Thanks so much. We'll check back in with you in a bit. Of course, the activity there is all related to police trying to track down the suspect. We want to pull that picture up for you again, if possible. This is Robert Card. Take a look at your screen. 40 years old. He's the person police say opened fire at those two locations in Lewiston earlier this evening. If you see him, police say he is considered armed and dangerous, so do not approach him, but call police right away.
I want to read this statement, too, from Senator Susan Collins. We mentioned that all of Maine's delegation has been completely...
Oh, by the way, this just popped up, and if I don't show it now, I'll forget it. But here's one of the masks I made, a Five Nights at Freddy mask I made for Liam. This was all made by foam. That's not a bad looking mask, is it? Can I open the image in the new tab? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, there we go, maybe. That's not a bad mask. See? I like making our kids' costumes. So he wanted to be one of the Fozzie Bear or something from Five Nights at Freddy. That's not bad, right? It's probably more expensive than just buying a mask, to be honest with you. And a whole lot more time consuming, but I like it. And like Liam's old enough now, he wants to help me paint it and stuff. So I think it's fun to do. But I'm not like horrible at it or nothing. For now, at least. Let's go back to the coverage.
In on this, but she mentioned that as our state mourns this horrific mass shooting, we appreciate the support we've received from all across the country, including the call I received from President Biden offering assistance. So the president clearly clued in on this. We know, again, that the FBI in Boston has offered their assistance in this investigation. A lot of agencies involved in this tonight.
Absolutely, and the president also in touch with other members of Maine's congressional delegation, including Senator Angus King. So this is having an effect not just here in Maine, but across the country this evening. I also want to point out that Bates College in the Lewiston-Auburn area is in lockdown right now as well. We're hearing about some police activity there too. Well, of course, as soon as we get more information about exactly what's happening there, we'll keep you updated as well.
Thank you to everyone too who has been sending us updates and video from what they see from their homes. Obviously, very, very active throughout Lewiston this evening. We're seeing police cars in multiple areas, and we know there's definitely a heavy police presence outside of Central Maine Medical.
If some of these Facebook posts are to be believed, 20 weeks ago, he says, another wild bus trip. Think we're too old, aren't we? Good to hear from you. Just about to finish up my 20 years in the Army. Got my letter. Just need them to approve my packet for retirement. So even I know it says he's a reservist, but if these Facebook posts are to be believed, then he just retired from the Army less than 20 weeks ago.
Center where a lot of these victims have been taken. We know that at least one patient was being taken to Maine Medical Center in Portland, which is where they can handle a little bit higher levels of trauma.
They've already taken down his page, but some people screenshot it
as well. But I'm sure they're overloaded with the number of people. We saw the crowds standing out there waiting to hear anything.
It looks like a bowling alley and some other attached thing.
Video from outside of Central Maine Medical Center, but I want to bring us back to
the security cam of him coming through the door with his weapon up is definitely a bowling alley. There's bowling balls, pins on the door.
And folks were just gathered
bowling shoes in the background.
Out at a restaurant when police say this man, Robert Card, who was captured on surveillance video there, entered the bowling alley and then apparently the restaurant at some point. We don't know the exact timeline. They're also looking for that white Subaru Outback you just...
And the other one was a bar, a restaurant bar.
Running from the scene.
This is spare time right now, yeah, or it was a few hours ago. That was, yeah, that area was certainly cleared out. We definitely heard from Mary Ellen Davis as well, who happened to be at the senior center across.
They're doing a controlled burn near our house right now, man, and the smoke is so thick, and it's actually on the other side of a mountain, but the smoke's just coming this way. They had to even put up signs on the interstate because the smoke's so thick. It's like causing a bunch of issues. Yeah, I mean, PTSDs are really, really bad. I just don't see myself, like I obviously have bad combat PTSD, but I don't know what could send me on a fucking shooting spree of random people. Like, don't get me wrong. You might fucking pull up YouTube one day and see that I fucking killed my neighbor and burn his house down. But random fucking people that have nothing to do with it, I don't know.
In that area of Molliston Way, there in Lewiston, there are a few restaurants. And like you said, Zach, Wednesday night, you have families that are out. You had a bowling league that was at Spare Time Recreation. A lot of people affected by this. And we even heard even in Auburn, across the bridge, there were restaurants and bars that were going into lockdown. There were kids who were playing hockey at the rink in Auburn who had to stop playing and parents had to come pick them up. I mean, a very scary situation in both communities this evening.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to actually hear.
What is a pull, haul, and Walmart distribute? I don't know what you mean.
Earlier, take a listen to that.
The police stormed the
They
building.
went to a family fun center and a bar.
Alerted them to the fact that one of the back doors had been left ajar. So we were told quite sternly to get out of the building there were about as many police officers in the building as there were knitters.
Oh, wow. Is this a big building?
Seniors Plus?
Yes.
No, it's just a one-story building. Fortunately, almost all the lights.
I think they're in the same building, or on the same road, maybe. It's Shamiga's Bar and Grill Restaurant, and the other one is called Spare Time Family Recreation Center, which is like a bowling alley arcade. It looks like they have. The restaurant has a bunch of pinball machines and stuff. Maybe they're close to each other. I'm looking right now.
Answered. So if anybody had come down any of the hallways or something like that, we would have seen them coming long before we would have heard them.
Okay.
So
they evacuated you from the building.
You're unable to post? You should be, but I'll look.
Can you say that again?
We're outside standing in the cold. We're about as safe as we can be right now.
Because so they took you out of the building because they needed to search the building in case someone was hiding in there? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay, and they didn't find anybody?
To the best of my knowledge, the shooter is still loose.
Has anybody told you officially how many shooters there are?
No.
Okay.
Again, that was Mary Ellen Davis. She was at the senior center across the way from Spare Time Recreation, just recapping her ordeal there, where police came to their building and made them evacuate.
Yeah, and of course that was the scene across a number of buildings in that area. There are other restaurants, other venues. You mentioned earlier kids at the hockey rink. So many people had to do just what she did, shelter in place, not knowing what was going on outside the doors. Hopefully many of them have now gotten to safety if they could, as police search for that gunman. Also, we're thinking here, some people have asked, what about blood donations at a time like this? With all these folks flooding to the hospitals, they desperately need blood.
That's so weird. There's nothing on. You ought to be able to chat, Jay-Bird. There's no restrictions on your account. There's no.
Overcome a blood shortage.
There's nothing on that's
through its national inventory. I'm just reading right off the email.
Preventing anybody, or you specifically, or anybody else.
Volunteer blood donations who step up every day to save lives. So they are grateful for donors. They did mention that their center in Auburn is currently on lockdown, but they are planning to adjust.
I'm still looking.
But people who are willing to donate blood at a time like this.
Certainly worth checking in with them, I would say, tomorrow. Yes. Let things sort of calm down a little bit. But sure, the shortage, the need is definitely going to be great tomorrow. Also worth reminding people that police are looking for 40-year-old Robert Card. I know we've been sharing his photo, but he is the man believed to be, he is the person of interest in this shooting. We do know that 22 people have been killed. That's from NBC, who got that information from Lewiston Police. And again, we're still waiting to hear from police tonight. Our Alex Haskell is live at the Lewiston City Hall, where Lewiston Police, Androscoggin County Sheriffs, and Maine State Police have all gathered. And it sounds like the ATF from Boston is on their way.
There's the grill.
To all sort of regroup and gather all
Lincoln
of the information
Street.
and let all of us know exactly what's going on. And hopefully we have a resolution to this very soon. But in the meantime, they're asking everyone to shelter in place, lock your doors.
And we've said that number 22, at least 22, over and over and over again tonight. Those are human beings. Those are moms, dads, brothers, and sisters. To put it into perspective, last year in Maine there were 29 homicides. Today alone, 22 people died.
That's a big,
oh wow, no, they're
number.
Hold on. Unless they've recently moved, they're quite a ways away from each other. Spare Time Recreation, Lewiston. It's about a 10-minute drive from each other. I figured they were a lot closer. unless they've recently moved. There is some near the restaurant. There is some available commercial real estate, unless they've moved to a new location. Let me see here. Because it's showing this over on Falcon Road, and the other one's on Lincoln. Oh, you guys I can keep playing this while I'm researching.
And it's something that we here in Maine have never seen. And obviously it's a big deal. A lot of national...
24 Mollison Way. Is that a different address?
This affects a lot of people. We're hearing that the police are getting ready to do a press conference. So we'll get to that the minute we see them come up to the podium there. We're keeping an eye on that. But again, just to remind you that this has been a very active scene all night tonight. We first got word of it around 6:30 tonight. And so we've had reporters on scenes, in multiple scenes. We've been at Spare Time Recreation, Schmenge's Bar and Grill you see there on Lincoln. All right, we're going to toss over to police at Lewiston City Hall.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing. There's nothing that's. Yeah, that's a long ways away. There's nothing that should be preventing you.
We do appreciate your patience and your partnership as we work with all of our partners across the law enforcement spectrum at all levels, local, state, county, and federal, to address and investigate these violent crimes that occurred in the city of Lewiston this evening. As you know, this is an experienced group. We won't have a lot of Q&A here this evening. This still is very fresh. It's new. It's new for all of us. And our focus is on the investigation and getting this right the first time. And we're doing that with our partners. And we do appreciate you putting out information from time to time. Moving forward, we would appreciate it if you got that information from us so that we knew that it was accurate. And that is incredibly important.
Yeah, I think the Walmart distribution center is wrong, though. I think
with this information as we release it. The delay in coming here with you now is simply because we want to confirm information from our end. We want to make sure the information we're giving you and the information that goes out to the general public is accurate. So we do have some information here that we will release. It is here on the podium. And this is a general caution to the public that approximately 6:56 this evening.
It's a completely different era.
Here with multiple casualties in the city of Lewiston.
It's also 10 minutes away.
Robert R. Card, 4/4 of 1983.
In the opposite direction.
Card is considered armed and dangerous. He is a person of interest, however, and that's what we'll label him at moving forward until that changes. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way. The shelter-in-place order that currently stands in Lewiston remains. A vehicle, which was a vehicle of interest in this incident, was located in Lisbon, and we are now also asking residents in Lisbon to shelter in place. So please share that information.
I know what she means. I don't need to explain any better. But there are no restrictions whatsoever on anybody posting right now. Anybody that follows me can chat right now. That's what I'm telling her. It might be like she needs to restart Twitch or maybe an update or something. But yeah, I know what she means. She's using channel points to highlight her message, and that's the only way it's coming through. But he shouldn't be doing that.
Information with communities as well. If anybody sees Mr. Card or has any additional information in reference to these two shootings in the city of Lewiston, please contact 911.
Even shield mode's turned off, like all the auto mods turned off. I don't know.
Authorities. We have literally hundreds of police officers.
Did anybody see my story on Twitch? So Twitch added stories, kind of like little TikToks, I guess. They're like little short videos, but you can only do a picture or something. Did anybody see it? Like I didn't know it was a thing, but I posted one just to see if anybody actually saw it. Legend says she did.
Working around the state of Maine to investigate this case.
I don't even know where they put them. Where's it at? On the main page or something?
And we'll continue to gather information so that we can...
Oh, so everybody saw it. Okay. It's just a picture of a mask or something I was working on.
This release also includes a photo, which I believe I have seen from various sources.
Yeah, and like Shananon, Cattywampus just commented, those people are not IBRN. Those people are not subscribers, so it's not a subscriber thing. But Jaybird just subscribed. I don't know why she can't. Top of the main page, thank you.
Also let you know that we have created a reunification location.
I don't know why she can't comment. There's no restrictions on her at all.
Neighboring community of Auburn at 38 Falcon Drive. Again, that's the Auburn Middle School. And when I say reunification center or location, what that means is that if somebody has a question or they have a concern, they can't find a loved one, they believe that a friend or a family member may be involved in what occurred here tonight in Lewiston, that they could respond to that location. We will have some of our behavioral health liaisons, counselors on site, and we'll also be providing information information as it becomes available to us. As you can imagine, and as you know, there are multiple scenes in the city to include multiple hospitals, multiple follow-ups, a lot of witnesses we're speaking with, and a lot of leads. The general public has been very cooperative and very forthcoming with information. So I would expect if we have additional information, we'll be happy to come back and share it with you. I know that from the city of Lewiston standpoint, probably going to close City Hall after this briefing and probably move everybody out. But again, we appreciate your partnership and your patience. I would offer to take questions just so you know that I probably won't have answers. And as long as you know that going in, there's no disrespect intended in that. Feel free to ask a couple, and if I think we can get there, then I'm happy to answer those. If not, we do have work to do on behalf.
She was just commenting last night too. She was on the last comments. She posted something on my dad.
The sheriff Sampson told me up as many as 20. I just want to give you this opportunity.
By the way, I know it's kind of a solemn thing going on with this shooting right now, but no, it's not letting her post at all. It's not just that I don't see it. It's just not letting her post at all. If you want to support the show, it's funded by all you guys. If you like what you see, I know tonight we talked about General Flynn, and now we're just kind of watching some news coverage. But if you want to support the show, I would greatly appreciate it. Donations have been down lately. I understand everybody's having a tough time, but if it's something you can afford, something you think that the show deserves, or you want to keep the show going, please go to coldbeer.fund and use one of the donation links. You guys keep the show going. I couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't do it without you. It would have to be greatly reduced if it ever comes to that. But thank you for the donations, and if you can, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I do appreciate that, and I know that there's been a lot of numbers out there. This is a very fluid situation. So the
easiest way to subscribe through Prime is that link the mods post sometimes.
I don't have firm numbers on that.
It is twitch.tv/sub/coldbeerconfessional.
It's an important piece of information
this link.
for all of us to be aware of.
You just click on that, click subscribe, and then you're back. That's it. You use your Prime subscription.
I'm not going to give you any specific numbers, and there's been a lot of numbers all over the map all evening, and I don't think that that's helpful because it doesn't help family members. It certainly doesn't help the community to see, well, they just said this and they said that. So if you want accurate information, I'm prepared to give that to you when I have it. I don't have that right now.
Does the suspect have any known criminal history with law enforcement? Is he someone who's been on the radar of state police or local police to your knowledge?
Well, Mr. Card, who we're speaking about right now, is a person of interest and a person of interest only, right? I'm not listing him as a suspect at this point, and we're not prepared to go into his background or anything else that we may be aware of. One more question?
Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder if someone called in and said, hey, he has mental health issues. I don't know. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. But that looks like him on the security footage.
We're looking for this person of interest right now, and that's what we'll label, enlist, and speak about at this particular moment. When we have additional information, I'm happy to share that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, thank you for your time. And I know Assistant City Manager O'Malley will make arrangements, I think, to move everybody out.
We're a little bit behind.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. These are the flyers that we were mentioning, so please read about those, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
That was Commissioner for Maine's Public Safety, Michael Soschuk, just briefing the press on what's going on. Really, we didn't get much information out of that, except that they continue to be searching for 40-year-old Robert Card, who they are calling a person of interest in this. And they did locate a vehicle that they believed he was in Lisbon, but it was empty. So they are asking people in Lisbon to shelter in place while they continue their search.
That's the easiest way to do it. There's hoops to jump through if you want to do it from your phone or do it underneath the video, blah, blah, blah. That's the easiest way we found to do it, for sure.
Robert Card is believed to be armed and dangerous. They are also still asking people in Lewiston to shelter in place.
What does it say when you don't highlight your message? What does it say when you just text your message?
At this point.
Yeah, the only other major bit of information.
Thank you. I see you use the link. Thank you very much.
There was that there is a reunification center they've opened up as well. That's at the Auburn Middle School at 38 Falcon Court, I believe. So they have opened up a reunification center for families there. And in terms of the numbers are reporting, we just want to be clear here. We are reporting at least 22 people killed in that Lewiston shooting. This is according to NBC News through the Lewiston Police Department. But as you heard there,
I need you to be very descriptive. So you type in the box and you hit enter and nothing happens. Does the text that you type disappear?
Michael Sostrzuk, the commissioner for Department of Public Safety, was
in the chat box
firmly say just how many. And of course, this is tough for them. We understand taking reporters' questions like that, so they're trying to make sure that information is right before they officially say it. But we just want to be transparent about where that number is coming from on our end.
And of course, we certainly recognize this is very difficult for families to be watching.
Sex offender websites crashed. Oh shit.
Whether their friends were at Schmenge's or whether they were at Spare Time or somehow caught up in the midst of any of this, or maybe they have people in Lisbon Falls who are being asked to shelter in place, or in Lewiston being asked to shelter in place. But again, as Zach just mentioned, that reunification center at Auburn Middle School, 38 Falcon Drive. That's going to be.
Yeah, that's what I just looked up too. It looks like they've got the same map there.
Don't have any answers. They haven't heard
about 10 minutes away, and then the distribution center is about 7 or 8 minutes away in the opposite direction. So if we go back to that map, so like if you go down this main road and like through main downtown, it's about a 10-minute route on Google Maps. The Walmart distribution center is over here, right around the SH here, and it's about 6 minutes to the bar and grill. Or 7 minutes, so about 17 minutes, I would assume, to this, but it doesn't seem like they're claiming that happened again.
That's going to be a very important place tonight for a lot of these families and friends who don't have any answers. They haven't heard from, their father they tried to call or their son they tried to call. And so that's a place where you can go to get some information. You can find out more information on a loved one. They also have a behavioral health liaison there, which is going to be very, very important moving forward.
Yeah, in the days and even weeks ahead, it is going to be a process for everyone to come to grips with this, especially those families who are directly impacted. We can't even imagine what they're going through tonight. Again, I do want to pull up this picture. This is the man police say they are looking for tonight, and that is the car they say they did find empty in Lisbon. If you know anything about where Robert Card of Bowdoin is, he's 40 years old, you were asked to call police. They say you can just call 911 if you happen to see him tonight, because this is a manhunt at this point. They are the hundreds of officers from across the state and even New England coming in to try and track this man down. His picture right there on your screen. They are saying he is a person of interest in this case tonight.
And again, if you don't have to go to this reunification center in Auburn Middle School, please stay home. Stay where you are. Shelter in place is the message to everyone right now. But if you are very concerned about your loved ones, if you're maybe waiting outside of Central Maine Medical Center, again, the reunification center, they're sending people.
Just gifted 1 subs.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate it.
Is at the Auburn Middle School on Falcon Drive. But again, if you don't have to be out, that's the big message from police is stay at home. Even Bates College in Lewiston is on lockdown right now. They're telling their students to stay put.
Right, and we're getting a number of schools announcing that they're canceling classes tomorrow. So we will try to get an updated list, but they seem to just be coming in more and more of schools in the greater Lewiston area.
I saw a bunch of
we're not going to bring kids in. It's just not the time for that. So families
a bunch of school closures.
School district. You probably received the text message or email tonight, but there are other schools that we have received messages from. If you haven't heard from your school, like Bonnie Eagle, the superintendent acknowledging that they are weighing the decision and will make a final announcement in the morning, but of course understanding the gravity of the situation tonight.
And this is video from earlier tonight outside of Spare Time Recreation. And yeah, speaking on that school subject, this is, we keep talking about
that's like a family fun center, dude.
There were schools in Poland, Mechanic Falls, Bowdoin, Brunswick, that have closed. And the reason I said Bowdoin is because that's where Robert Card is from. That's what police are telling us. But we know Poland, Mechanic Falls, Brunswick.
Gifted a sub to Skunk71. Thank you.
Close to Lewiston, but they're closing tomorrow. So definitely keep in touch with your school. If you have not gotten the text, keep an eye out on any decisions made. And again, at Auburn Middle School, there will be a behavioral health liaison there tonight. We just heard Commissioner Michael Sostrzuk with Maine's Public Safety Department talk about how this is still a very fluid situation. It's still very active scenes all over Lewiston that we're hearing from our reporters, and still a very active scene in Lisbon Falls where our reporter Hannah Kumler is. Right now you're looking at video from Central Maine Medical Center where crowds have just gathered outside waiting for any sort of information on their people who were either at Schmenge's Bar and Grill tonight or...
There's been like public shootings for like a long time. They get a lot more coverage, a lot more attention, a lot more stuff, and a lot more people. Schools have become a new issue, and that gets a lot of press with it. But there's been there's been attacks on schools before they were even using guns and shit,
At Spare Time Recreation.
Yeah, just seeing the number of people gather around that hospital tonight waiting for the news about their loved ones is quite unimaginable. I imagine they're trying to get some folks away from that hospital and get them to the center in Auburn, and just trying to kind of make sure things are set up for them so that they can get them the information they need.
We are still getting some photos and videos in from our reporters who were out on the scene, but they have been out there since we first heard of this situation. And we just heard from Michael Sostrzuk, who said the situation first happened around 6:56 tonight. You can imagine 6:56 on a Wednesday night. A lot of people
out of work.
Yeah.
At the bar, at the restaurant, at the bowling alley.
The National Institute of Justice uses a much narrower definition. they consider it.
Dr_J_Banana gifted Catty Winners a subscription.
Oh, thank you.
Dr_J_Banana gifted a tier 1 sub to Catty Winners.
Thank you very much.
They have given 16 gift subs in the channel.
So the FBI uses a kind of a broad definition that gets a lot of stuff that most people wouldn't consider like an active shooter, mass shooter event. But the National Institute of Justice uses a much narrower, and they say 4 or more killed with firearms in public that's not connected to underlying criminal activity. So we're going to rule out like gang violence or drug shootout or whatever, and or commonplace circumstances. That's their definition. And they say that there was 167 mass shootings of that caliber since 1966, I think, is when they started recording.
Just off of work, trying to relax with
1965 somewhere.
And then the unimaginable happened, and I don't want to overstate that it wasn't just those people necessarily. It was also the entire Lewiston area that got that alert on their phone, right? And was sheltered in place wherever they were, whether it was a grocery store or a hockey rink, getting that message on their phone and not knowing what was happening. Obviously, just a really terrifying situation tonight.
And I guess there aren't a whole lot of big cities in Maine, are there? If they're at, it says in 2018 was the last census at 35,944, and it's the second largest city. I guess there aren't a whole lot of big cities in Maine, huh?
A little bit earlier tonight, and it was just, this is all very new for all of us. This is something that we have not seen here in Maine before, but just he was so shocked by the fact that while they were driving into Lewiston, just to get to the scene, they drove by a man who was walking, because the streets were fairly empty by that point. People were getting the message, stay home. Walked by a man who was on the phone and just started.
Oh, thank you. Disney McBride. No, you're awesome. I don't want people to say stuff like that, but thank you very much for donating. If you don't have it, or hell, if you don't think I deserve it, I don't ever want somebody just to do it because they feel like they need to. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate it.
Running because he clearly got the information about what was going on, and he said it's terrifying. Something like that sticks with you to see what's going on in that area. So our hearts certainly go out to all of you.
Absolutely, and it continues. I think you hear the helicopters swirling above. You hear ambulances.
_GLG20 cheered Dex 600.
600. What does 600 do? Oh, does it going to do anything? Is it even connected? I'll play it. Hold on. Oh, it should be. Why is it not connected? Please renew it in Twitch connections. Oh, hell. The token. That's why nothing's been popping up. Damn it. Hold on.
Police cars getting to where they need to go. So we understand that you at home, you in those communities are experiencing this right now in a very, very real.
I'll play it either way.
It is not lost on our state. It is not lost on us. It's not lost on the country.
That was my bad.
King says he's been in touch with President Joe Biden and offered any the president offered any federal assistance he can provide to the people. Given the horrific nature of the events, Senator King will be headed to Maine on one of the first flights available. He wants to be home to support Lewiston in any way he can.
Yeah, it expires every 90 days or something.
Again, a number of different agencies that are involved in this now. The FBI out of Boston, the ATF out of Boston. Of course, the president has been briefed on all of this. Our entire delegation we've heard from tonight. Very real, very hard hitting. And you mentioned the Red Cross and how so many viewers have actually reached out to us saying, how can I help? There's got to be a way to donate blood. And the Red Cross has been working to overcome a blood shortage.
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking.
There he goes.
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking.
Since mid-September, and
thank you.
They're hoping to be able to provide blood, but they certainly always appreciate people who are willing to donate. Due to this incident, though, the Red Cross Blood Center in Auburn is currently under lockdown, but they will notify scheduled donors if they need to adjust center hours, so something to keep track of tomorrow if you do have an appointment already set up in Auburn. But I'm sure they will be looking for blood donations, so something to keep an eye on tomorrow.
Oh no, 428 bits. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it, Shannon.
Police continue their search for the man they are calling right now just a person of interest in this shooting. He's right there on your screen. 40-year-old Robert Card of Bowdoin. They say he is a person of interest in the mass shooting at Spare Time Recreation and Schmenge's Bar earlier this evening. So if you see Robert Card, you are asked to call police. Police saying you can just call 911, especially if you feel like there's an unsafe situation. He is considered armed and dangerous, so you should not approach him. But if you see him or know where he might be, please give police a call.
And just a reminder that there is a reunification reunification center that is being set up right now at the Auburn Middle School. That's 38 Falcon Drive. If you're worried about your loved ones, your people, that's the place they're telling people to go right now to get a little bit more information about where that person may be, whether they are affected. Police are certainly working around the clock along with, all of the staff at the hospitals there in Lewiston, plus the hospital Maine Med in Portland. We've heard from them. In fact, Maine Med ready to take any of the patients that they can't handle there in Lewiston, and they have even closed their campus to any outsiders tonight. It's open obviously to their patients, but at this point they're preparing for the worst, and so they're asking anyone else to stay away from their campus tonight.
I want to talk to our folks in the control room right now. Do we have anyone, any of our reporters?
So the data is kind of skewed. So if you look at the FBI data, it starts from 2000 to 2015 or till current, but this article I'm reading is from 2000 to 2015. They omit the two biggest mass shootings after 2015 and before 2020. In addition to Columbine, there were 4 other mass shootings in 1999, bringing the yearly fatalities to 42. We can't be sure which mass shootings were the worst in American history, or even if they're on the rise, because 1, history didn't begin in 2000, and 2, Congress didn't define mass shootings as 3 killed or more until 2013, and 3, systematic data about such incidents was not collected. They didn't even keep up with it until 2012.
Available? Not yet. Okay, so we are continuing to work to get more information. We have reporters out in the field. This is some surveillance video from earlier in the night. The car, police say they did find, but empty, and they're looking for Andrew Card of Bowdoin. Robert Card, excuse me, of Bowdoin. And this image we have shared a lot tonight. Tough to look at, of a gunman entering spare time there with a large weapon and inflicting horror on many.
I hate that he shut up an AR. I mean, obviously, I hate that he killed people. I hate that people are hurt. I hate that anybody would do this, but man, AR-15 is fucking goddamn. It's not even the best weapon, and all it does is put a big fucking target on it. There's much better weapons.
We just heard from Commissioner for Public Safety Michael Soschuk about how it's been a little frustrating for them to see different numbers out there, and they would not confirm any casualties for us. But the number that we have here came from NBC, and they say that came specifically from Lewiston Police.
666. Look out.
GLG20 cheered Dex 666.
For reference, this is how hairy my butt is right now.
Pancakes! Oh, you're going to make Donnie mad. You're going to make Donnie mad. That was pancakes. Thank you very much.
So we're sticking with it. 22 people is what we are told who have been killed in this shooting at Spare Time Recreation and then at Schmeggy's Bar and Grill, just 4 miles away. And again, this is the car that police say they found.
If you look at the data, I've seen this broken down too. If you look at the data that Harvard did a study on, where they tried to figure out if there was because the data kind of goes up and down. If you look at it, Mother Jones did a big study using news articles, and they went all the way back to 1982. And you get these weird dips and spikes and dips and spikes and dips and spikes. So Harvard decided to do a study on, is there a certain amount of time that may pass between this? And they didn't find, exactly a correlation, but they found when Harvard did it that it was much more likely, or they were much more often between 2000 and 2013 than they have been between 2013 and 2022. Yeah.
10 miles away in...
If you look at the time between
we heard from Hannah Kumler earlier,
the incidents and not the number of dead or whatever.
Routes, but it seemed there was still some traffic flowing, so some people still out and about despite these orders to stay inside if you can, but police obviously centering in on an area.
The most frequent was from 2011, 2013, something like that. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but that's what I remember from it.
In Lisbon, where they continue their search for this person of interest tonight. If you see him, please give police a call.
And again, that shelter in place has been in place in Lewiston, but it has now extended to Lisbon, where police found that empty car. And that seems to be where they're focusing their search at this point. At least that's what we just heard from Michael Soschuk. So we did see, like you said, in the background of Hannah's live shot, we saw a lot of cars moving around back there. So hopefully people are getting the message to get home and lock the doors and stay safe.
Yeah, and Commissioner Soschuk earlier, while didn't share some firm numbers, did share information about just the sheer response here that we're talking about. Obviously, you've seen the images of the police cars and whatnot swarming the scene, but in this case, he's talking about hundreds of police officers, law enforcement officers from Lewiston, from the county, from the state, from across New England, even the ATF, FBI, from the Boston Bureau, other federal agencies getting involved in this search at this point, because as it drags on, it gets harder and harder for them to track down the person.
it's always a tragic event, and it's always horrible, and I don't want anybody to ever have to face this or be part of this. But if you get down to a lot of the numbers, if you use like the National Crime Institute or whatever, their definition of it, of like a not related to other things, not because like a fight broke out and somebody pulled a gun and somebody got hit, or a drug deal or something like that. It happens much more often at commercial buildings than it does at schools, and it averages about 23 deaths per year. Now, if you take 23 deaths per year, again, I don't think that any of those deaths should happen, but if you have to talk about it in terms of how many deaths, if you average 23 deaths per year compared to anything else, it's not that large of a number. But it's especially tragic when it happens to kids, when it happens at schools, when it happens to stuff like that. And I agree it should stop. But if we look at it on a scale of what kills more people, I mean, it's just a sad fact that it's not as many as people think in their head. But especially in other countries. Other countries think this just happens all the fucking time, like 30 people dead a day from fucking mass shootings.
Of course, it's a numbers game. So they're saying if
at schools,
get enough, feet on the ground looking for him, hopefully they can track him down.
I got
Why they need your help. Really, if you think about just how vast Maine is, how quickly it is, how easy it is rather to get to more rural areas. If you happen to see him anywhere in the greater Lewiston area or beyond, police really ask you to give them a call. You can do so anonymously, whatever you need to do to get information to police so they can track this man down tonight.
Which that in itself, that number too, is that's a huge number. Hundreds of police in Maine right now searching for Robert Card, the 40-year-old person of interest from Bowdoin. They found his.
The bulletin says the man, Robert Card, has been trained as a firearms instructor at U.S. Army Reserve Training Facility in Maine. The document says Card had been committed to a mental health facility for 2 weeks in the summer of 2023. It did not provide specific details about his treatment or condition. The document also said Card had reported hearing voices and had threatened to carry out a shooting at the military training base in Saco, Maine. Saco, I don't know. Card was being sought by police as a person of interest in Wednesday's shootings. The telephone number listed for Card in public records was not in service. Lewiston police confirmed in a Facebook post that Card was a person of interest in the shooting and said he should be considered armed and dangerous. The shootings at a bowling alley and bar in Lewiston on Wednesday night killed at least 16 people and engulfed the state's second largest city in chaos. The suspect remained at large as authorities ordered. You think he went out on a boat and killed himself? If he did find him, that he found him at a boat launch. 2 law enforcement officials told the Associated Press dozens of people also have been wounded. The officials were not authorized to publicly disclose details of the ongoing investigation. Spoke to AP on condition of anonymity. Lewis police said in an earlier Facebook post that they were dealing with an active shooter incident at Shemingi's Bar and Grill and Spare Time Recreation Bowling Alley, about 4 miles, 6.4 kilometers away. The Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office released 2 photos of the suspect on his Facebook page that show the shooter walking into an establishment with a weapon raised to the shoulder. Please stay off the roads, allow emergency responders to access the hospitals. Police say on its website, Central Maine Medical Center said staff were reacting to a mass casualty, mass shooter event and were coordinating with area hospitals to take in patients. A woman who answered the phone in the emergency department said no further information could be released. At that time, the hospital itself was on lockdown. Melinda Small, the owner of Legends Sports Bar and Grill, said her staff immediately locked their doors and moved all 25 customers and employees away from the doors after a customer reported hearing about the shooting at the bowling alley less than a quarter mile away around 7 p.m. Soon the police flooded the roadway and police officer eventually escorted everyone out of the building 4 at a time. Everyone in the bar is safe. I'm honestly in a state of shock. I'm blessed that my team responded quickly and everyone is safe. Small told the Associated Press, but at the same time, my heart's broken for this area and what everyone is dealing with. I just feel numb. The alert for Lewiston was made shortly after 8 p.m. as the sheriff's office reported that law enforcement agencies were investigating 2 active shooter events. Officials issued an update around 10 p.m. on their search. Avoid the area until authorities give the all clear. Oh, thank you. Got it going. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Avoid the area until authorities give the all clear. The statement said, seek alternative routes to circumvent the area and any disruptions. If already operating in the affected region, adhere to all instructions issued by local officials, including to shelter in place, the shelter in place order. We're encouraging all businesses to lock down and close while we investigate. A spokesperson for Maine Department of Public Safety urged residents to stay in their homes with their doors locked. Law enforcement is currently investigating at 2 locations right now, Shannon Moss said. Again, please stay off the streets and allow law enforcement to defuse the situation. Governor Janet Mills released a statement echoing those instructions. She said she has been briefed on the situation and will remain in close contact with public safety officials. President Joe Biden had spoken by phone to Mills and the state's Congress members, offering full federal support in the wake of this horrific attack. A White House statement said local schools will be closed Thursday and people should shelter in place or seek safety. Superintendent Jake Lunglaise said, adding, stay close to your loved ones, embrace them. Lewiston is about 35 miles north of Portland, emerged as a major center for African immigration into Maine. The Somali population, which numbers in the thousands, has changed the demographics of the once overwhelming white mill city into one of the most diverse in northern northern New England. Angie Amoras, a spokesperson for the city of Lewiston, said officials are not commenting on the shooting. Amoras said Maine State Police were planning to hold a news conference likely at City Hall to update the public on Wednesday night. Maine Senator Angus King, an independent, said he was deeply sad for the city of Lewiston, all those worried about their families, friends, and neighbors, and was monitoring the situation. King's office said the senator would be headed directly home to Maine on the first flight possible. I'm going to jump ahead to live, okay?
Hundreds.
Auburn, we are at the middle school. I want to give you the address. It is 38 Falcon Drive, and we heard the commissioner talk about this location.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom, but you guys are more welcome to keep watching.
Center. This is where anyone can come.
If something doesn't happen in a minute, we'll do something. Talk about something else. I got some Scott Wadgell's videos.
Can't find a loved one, or
just sad.
If a loved one, if a friend, family member was involved in tonight's shooting, yesterday's shooting, this is the place to come. They have counselors on hand, and it is secure here. We was driving up the driveway here, and police stopped us, shined a flashlight in our car. So this is a safe place to be right now if you have concerns, if you have questions. And this news is just coming out as of a few minutes ago, so we're slowly seeing people arrive here on scene, either bringing their questions or their concerns. And we also want to mention, as I'm sure you have been hearing tonight, Lewiston isn't the only place to stay inside, be safe. Also Lisbon, both stay inside in those locations. And again, this location in Auburn is safe with the police officers here. Now I want to toss to some sound that we heard from the
and the donations. He says she got it fixed somehow. I don't know what she did.
The police that have been involved in this effort to keep everyone safe and find the suspect.
We have literally hundreds of police officers working.
I've been shot at so many times. I'm afraid how I would respond if it happened in the U.S., which it had before, but that was all before I went overseas. I've been shot at in the U.S. too, but it was all before I went overseas. I don't know what the fuck I would do. Hell, I already freak out when people just stand beside the door. There's a time I freaked out at Applebee's one time and tried to evacuate the restaurant.
Around the state of Maine to investigate this case, to locate Mr. Card, who again is a person of interest and a person of interest only. And we'll continue to gather information so that we can bring the suspect to justice and ultimately seek.
That's wild. It's wild, Jay-Bird. Glad it fixed it, though. I was looking through the settings. I just couldn't find anything.
I will give you that address again. 38 Falcon Drive, Auburn Middle School. This is a reunification center. If you have questions, concerns, looking for a loved one, this is the place to be. Brian and Lee, I'll toss things back to you.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. And Alex, anybody, probably described as a reunification center. And for the woman that Jack spoke with and that we just saw, this kind of streamlines the process, if you will, to get the information to the people who are missing their loved ones, don't know if they're okay, have questions about getting status updates on them. And instead of trying to find all of the people, picking a central location, getting them there, and then there's one place for everybody to get the information that they need and they so desperately obviously deserve.
And certainly you imagine also helps the law enforcement side of getting the names of the people who need to be contacted and coordinated and all of that. We're talking about a lot of people tonight. 22 people is what NBC is reporting through Lewiston Police. But as we heard in the briefing that we were so anxiously waiting for a while from the Commissioner of Public Safety, not committing to a number at this point. And certainly can appreciate that perspective and can appreciate your perspective of wanting a number, needing some information to hold on to.
And at the same time, as a Mainer, as somebody watching, I wanted to hear him say 22, right? Because I wanted to not think it might be more.
Right.
And obviously hoping less, but I was hoping to hear something more definite and clearly understanding why the commissioner can't do that. So many.
Is that what they call people from Maine? Is Mainers?
First and foremost, they still don't have Robert Card. He's the suspect. He's the person of interest. Choosing words carefully there. He's the person of interest. There he is, 40 years old.
We can leave this playing muted in the background. I got stuff that I want to read to you guys. It might lighten the mood a little bit. Maybe we'll see. Somebody's grandma knows how to use Chat GPT. Once upon a time, in the depths of the ocean, there lived a sea hag named Kathy H. She was feared by all creatures of the sea for her magical powers and her ability to control the tides. One day, while she was out hunting for fish, she stumbled upon a sunken ship. As she swam closer, she saw that it was the ship of her long-lost love, General Michael Flynn. She had thought that he was dead, but here he was, alive and well. Kathy H. swam inside the ship and found General Flynn lying on the deck. He was weak and injured from the shipwreck. Kathy H. took him in her arms and carried him to her underwater lair. There, she nursed him back to health with her magical fish-like powers. As General Flynn regained his strength, he and Kathy H. rekindled their love for each other. They spent their days exploring the ocean together and making other people leave the laundromat so they could enjoy the washing services. Enjoying each other's company, Kathy H. even taught General Flynn how to control the tides with her magic. One day, as they were swimming together, they came across a group of fishermen who were hunting for fish. Kathy H. knew that they would harm her and General Flynn if they caught them, so she used her magic to create a powerful storm that drove the fishermen away. From that day on, Kathy H. and General Flynn lived happily ever after in their underwater paradise. They were never bothered by humans again and spent their days exploring the ocean and enjoying each other's company. As for Betsy, Kathy H.'s rifle, it remained safely tucked away in her lair. She had no need for it anymore now that she had found true love. Yeah, she's got one of those Star-Kissed ready-to-eat packets, I think she keeps down there. Something like that. Thank you very much for that submission. It's probably not going to win anything, but I appreciate the submission nonetheless, I guess. Thank you. But not going to win any awards. If I take it to the Jonesboro Storytelling Festival, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can try it and let you know, I guess. Here we go. We got some other videos to do. That's what Ollie calls them, videos. This is a series of videos that start out with this one, which is actually kind of like a feel-good story. The cop with Arby's.
But
okay.
Your driver got arrested for things he had to take care of. So I figured I'd complete the DoorDash for you.
I know I'm not who you're expecting, but your driver got arrested for some things he forgot to take care of. So I'm completing your DoorDash order for you. So they arrested the DoorDash driver for something, and the cop brings the order the rest of the way. Rings the doorbell and everything.
But your driver got arrested for things he had to take care of. So I figured I'd complete the DoorDash for you.
That's pretty nice.
Take care. Thanks!
Yeah, that's pretty nice there. So that's how it starts. So that's video number 1. Video number 2 is a response to that video.
No, I'm not who you're expecting, but...
What's going on, you guys? I need to fix my... I guess from the police officer, when the finished the DoorDash's order, well, I guess you got...
I don't think he'd be allowed to take a tip, but yeah, they need to tip the driver.
Yeah. It sounded like she was surprised. But the Dasher, shame.
Scott would have done the same thing because he's a good guy.
Well, let this video go too.
I love how he just finds like heartwarming videos, and he never does anything like good for anybody. He just sits on the internet and begs for money and treats his dad like shit, treats people like shit that give him money. But then he always finds these heartwarming videos. He's like, I would do that too. But he just never does.
I got a shout out video to make to one of my good friends.
Wibble. Peace out. And then we have a response to that video in the comments, and Scott replies to the comment on the response of the video that he did and leaves another response. Now the comment says, look, Scott, the cop has a job. Maybe you can get one and stop asking for money all the time. Which, we have to be honest, that's what Scotty does.
What's going on, everyone? This is to this comment right here. This is to the VR stitch about that cop completing the DoorDash shoulder.
What up?
I do have friends that are police officers, and no, they wouldn't, you know, because it's against the law.
What? Look, Scott, that cop has a job. Maybe you can get one and stop asking for money all the time. So he says, I have friends that are police officers, and no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't what? It's against the law. No, they wouldn't what? Turning into Derek Johnson slowly.
You know, because it's against the law. Here where I live.
Why does law end with an L? Why when he says law, it ends with an L too? It's against the law.
It's against the law to panhandle. Trust me, I know.
Why do you? It's against the law to panhandle, and you know? How do you know?
Got arrested for panhandling.
Oh.
So, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong.
Okay.
But, anyways, I don't know, dude or ma'am. I don't know, Jesse Harvey. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but no. And I know he has a job, but sometimes cops can go out of their way to help someone if it is a DoorDasher and has the food.
So it's not about the cop being a DoorDasher. He says, no, they wouldn't do that. It's against the law. Then he says panhandling's against the law, but there was nobody in the video panhandling. He panhandles online every fucking day. It's just illegal to hold a sign by the side of the road. You panhandle online.
Sometimes cops can go out of their way to help someone if it is a DoorDasher and has the food. The DoorDasher has their food with them. Sometimes they do go out of their way, you know. It's called act of kindness.
Act of kindness. I do it all the time with my puppet at McDonald's when I don't have enough money for my food.
Most of the time I do it. Like when I go into some other people's lives, I exchange my diamonds, my coins I get from my lives, you know, or when I'm in the box of someone else, when someone gifts me, I just recycle and give it out to everybody. That's the way I do. That's the way I roll. So, nah. And I'm a nice guy, so deal with it.
There you go. He's a nice guy, so you better deal with it. Well, let's see what he did on his live stream. So you remember the live stream the other night where he kept asking this woman if he could come meet her in person and stay with her? And she's like, maybe. And then Vox shows up and is like, no, hell no. And I was like, oh, that's probably his girlfriend. 100%. Scott wants to go and hang out with this man's girlfriend. And he wants to stay the night with her while he's not there. And it's not the boyfriend's choice. He doesn't get a say in the matter. It's her choice. If she wants to meet Scotty, she can meet Scotty. And she can meet little Scotty too. He's 1/10 the size and twice as hairy. Well, here's the live stream that went down in.
Cody, what's going on? How's it going, man? I don't know about it, but well.
Oh shit.
Elon, Amanda.
So Vox starts this off by asking Scotty. I'll read the comments too because they're going to be too small to say. Vox asks Scotty, can I try on one of your Power Ranger suits? And Scotty says, no, because you won't let me try on your girlfriend. Basically.
How's it going, Amy? I don't know about that. Well,
someone asked him Vok asked him what he thinks about the Israeli-Hamas issues. He says, I don't know about that, Vok. He's also banning people for asking about the hotel and the Reddit video and all that stuff. One out of every 10 comments is something asking him about his Corno video, but he just bans them.
I know, man.
Oh, he just banned one. What did it say? Can you comment on the Reddit video? Boom, gone. Also, his smaller nose hole from the smaller person that he was stitched together from always wheezes now. Someone said, do you have a Green Ranger costume? Why would they ask if he has a Green Ranger costume? Yes, he's got a wake apnea. Why would they ask if he has a Green Ranger costume? Oh, because that's the costume he was featured in with his with that young black gentleman in the hotel in Louisiana. Okay. Makes sense.
Some of y'all. Yeah, I do, Kodiak.
He says, yes, I do. Okay, somebody joined.
Good morning, Scott.
Marcy.
How are you?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Do you really sleep in your white Ranger suit?
What are you up to today?
Nothing much. I'm just trying to get in touch with a friend of mine. I'm more about her.
Got a couple battles set up today.
So Vox says, Scott, if I come over, can I try on your suits? That was the question he asked.
Nah. And no, you can't, Vox.
I can't stay on long time because I'm at work.
Have you talked to Tammy?
I sent her a text about 30 minutes ago.
And she FaceTimed me, and I'm worried about her.
I'll be off at 3 if you want to know.
All right.
I'll be checked out.
All right.
Okay. It's loud, that's why I'm getting out. Where I'm at.
All right. What are you talking about, Vox? That's not very nice. No.
Vox says that's not very nice. I'd like to try them on.
No, Vox, no. You know what?
Yeah, I emailed it to everybody who asked for it. I sent it to them.
Well, Scott, if you have more than one costume,
that you won't let me try them on. And even the person in his chat that came on is like, if you have more than one costume, y'all could both put on costumes and take pictures.
if he came over, he could wear one of them, couldn't he?
No.
Nope.
Why?
I don't want him to.
Why not, he says.
Pretty epic pictures.
Vox says, why not?
What if he brought his own, though? Like green or red or something?
What if he brought his own costume? Could he wear it beside you?
Well, he won't let me go see Aaron, so why would he come here?
He won't let me go spend the night alone with his girlfriend. After Scott's been busted sending nudes to everybody, he asks people randomly just to see their fucking butthole. He gets mad if he asks you to see your tits and you won't show him the people he doesn't even fucking know. Like, that's just what he does.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. Your girlfriend's a two-way street, you son of a bitch. And here I am bringing a whole busload of motherfuckers up in there.
Right. I don't know nothing about the
Little
Aaron
bitch
thing.
boy.
No.
The two-way street.
Either you let me see Aaron. Let's make a deal, Aaron. You let me see Aaron, and I'll let you.
So he says, VocQ says that's different. And Scott says, if you let me go stay the night alone with your girlfriend without you around, I'll let you try on my Wangel costume.
See, do my,
Scott, you want to spend the night with my girlfriend alone, which is exactly what he asked to do. He told her not to even tell Voc originally. But she did.
Costumes.
No deal, Voc says.
He loves his girlfriend. He can't like spend the night with his girlfriend.
No, we're not talking about spending the night. No, it's just a day thing.
Just during the day. I want to show her my dick in the day. The natural lighting really highlights my bush. on my back.
Well, what do you want to do with her?
Just grab some coffee and stuff.
Just grab some coffee and maybe take it as a suppository while I watch and stuff.
Like I said before, it's not your decision, it's ours.
That's just wrong. It's not your decision that I come and fuck your girlfriend. It's hers.
You can do whatever she wants, Vok.
No, I don't trust you when it comes to that, which is very valid, to be honest with you. Like, he does some weird fucking shit to get pussy, dude. He already admitted that the reason he went to jail is because he was stealing because someone said, I'll fuck you if you steal me some shit. That never happened, obviously. He drove all the way to Louisiana to fuck a black guy that didn't even pass as a woman. Then claimed he didn't know he had a dick until it was over while he was giving the guy a hand job sitting on the side of the bed. That must have been, he must have thought, man, that's the biggest clit I've ever seen. Why does it keep shooting me in the face? What am I supposed to do with these chunks? Or whatever. You got external ovaries? That's weird. Isn't there supposed to be another hole down here? Anyways. So, I don't trust you when it comes to that. Of course you don't. No one would.
Oh my God. You're being hard-headed, Vok.
He claims that I wouldn't even call it like a transgendered person. It was just an effeminate looking dude. He claims that the whole act, that guy took advantage of him, that they did all the sex and he didn't find out that he was a dude till after. But he's literally sitting on the side of the bed jacking the dude's dick. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you couldn't tell that was a dude, I don't know if you're capable of making these decisions.
Right now, I don't want any woman right now.
Someone says messing with another man's woman can end up bad for you. I don't want any woman. I just want to go hang out with her.
I mean, damn.
I just want a friend zone.
All I want is friends.
So Vok is trying to rile him up and says she lets me make all the decisions.
No, she don't. You're about to get.
By the way, he's done this with, this is not just like a girlfriend thing and Scott thinks that he's going to fucking rizz them up and steal them away. Like, he's done this to married women. So he befriended a guy. That guy ended up bringing his wife around after being friends with Scott for a few months and doing live streams with him. And then behind the guy's back that he was originally friends with, and then that brought his wife on a couple times, he got her number and started sending her dick pics and told her not to tell the guy.
Now stop being hard-headed. She makes her own decisions.
He's hard.
Well, if they're married,
His fucking dick looks like a hard-boiled egg. That's why it's got the hard head.
a lot of times husbands do make the decisions in the family.
They're not even married. No, they're not married.
Vok says, okay, then I'm leaving. Bye, Scott.
No, it's no bye, Scott. We're going to talk about this, Vok.
No bye, Scott. I'm coming to fuck your girl. We're going to talk about it. Get in the box.
Yeah, Vok. See ya.
You're being rude. I'm leaving, Vok says.
I'm the one being rude. Get in the box.
Why won't you let me fuck your girlfriend? I'm being rude?
I'm not being rude, Vok.
Why can't I send her pictures of my dick? Every time he goes live, he's in a fight. That's right.
You don't trust anybody.
Or he makes a video right after he gets off the live and says, everything I said to that person about them being my friend, I fucking hate them. I actually love Cindy and Wivel.
It's her decision, Vok. If she wants to meet me in person, that's her choice.
I think she wants to meet your meat in person, is what she told me. I need a scale. I've lost some weight, but I don't know how much. I need a scale. Or to get a battery for our scale instead. Wiva. No, it's Wiva with a W. Wiva. It's WIV-UHH. Wiva.
Yeah, man. Amy, am I right?
So the person that just hopped in chat with him that said, I'm at work, I can't stay on here long, and he said, I'm worried about Tammy or whatever, is now in his comments and just says, hey, and she's like, hey, Amy, ain't I white? Ain't I white? That's my friend that agrees with me. Ain't I white?
Choice.
Her choice. Ain't I white? I stand up for women's choices when they choose to not tell their boyfriend I sent them a dick pic.
I know you're still in here, Bach.
I wouldn't feel bad. I'm still a big, fat, sloppy motherfucker, but I've lost some weight, I think.
I know you're in here, Bach.
I got stung by a fucking bee today. I'll tell you that story in a minute.
I might as well, boss. Might as well, because fuck is being.
So someone says, I thought you were going to hang out with Dusty and I. That was from Marcy Vangsness. And he says, I might as well then, I guess, because Vox not going to let me fuck his girlfriend.
Might as well, because fuck is being hard-headed. I'm going to go. I need to make some calls anyways. Talk to y'all.
Gotta go. Gotta make some calls. Gotta go. Very strange. Very strange little live stream there. There's also a video that I never showed that is actually really good. And I never got to I don't think I showed it to you. It was just, it's not funny or anything. It's just a fucking interesting video. At least to me it is. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I never showed this one on here, and I should have. It's a cool-ass TikTok video. This guy, like, slows down and, like, super zooms in on things. It's called macrofying. His name of the channel, and check this out. Like, I know how matches work. Like, I understand the chemical process, but I've never... This is fucking awesome. Don't let Scott fuck your girl, by the way. She'll get Sasquatch AIDS. Look at that. Is that not wild? This is how a match works. Turns to sulfur. It knocks the water out of the wood. Pulls it out. Is that not the coolest fucking little video? Of him just striking a match, and then it loops, obviously. Is that not cool as fuck? We have had a rather large update on the mushroom stuff. I moved the better of the rice bags that I had. One of them, I think I got contamination. I've separated it from the rest of them. But the better of the original rice bags that I had that had a lot of the root system, the mycelium in it, I broke it up and moved it to a bigger bag. And just today when I pulled out that bigger bag, which is the bag that it'll stay in until I get mushrooms out of it, when I moved it to that, it's the mycelium starting to take over in that bag. There's probably 10 spots where I can see it. As soon as that mycelium takes it completely over, I'm going to give it some oxygen and get some mushrooms off that motherfucker. Some gourmet mushrooms that Mariah can cook me a meal with. Some cube steak. Plus, I don't know if I told y'all, but I did my own grain spawn with some popcorn to see if it'll work. I haven't had, it's only been a day, but I haven't seen anything on it yet. That's so cool, that bubbling. And then the water being pulled out of the wood before it burns. That's a cool video. Damn, that's so cool. That shit's awesome. I fucking love that shit. There was one more thing I was gonna say, and I forgot what it was before we left. I can't remember what the fuck it was. The fuck was it? I think it had something to do with you guys. There's been some mushroom updates. I want to keep everybody on top of that. If you like the show, if you like the content and enjoy it, please consider going to coldbeer.fund. Tomorrow, where I'm so strapped for time, where I'm doing these masks for Halloween right now, tomorrow will probably be a Patreon show. All levels of Patreon, but Patreon only. And we'll do like a big hangout. We'll talk about some topics or whatever. I'm sure we'll talk about grifters and other things. But I just don't have the time to work on the mask, do a free show and a Patreon show. That'll start back after Halloween. But I got to get it finished. Anything else I can think of? I don't know. The mushrooms are coming along. I'll be updating TikTok in the next couple of days, at least with a little bit. I did my own grain spawn, which went really well, I think, as soon as I've got something going on with that. So basically, I just bought some popcorn seed and some mason jars, which was really cheap. Like, I think the pint or half pint mason jars I got were like $9 for a dozen. I only needed 4 of them. And then a bag of popcorn was like $2 or $3. And I used a pot to boil the popcorn in to like get the moisture content right inside the kernel. And then I used an Instapot to sterilize everything. If you don't know, your Instapot on the keep warm setting is basically a sterilization setting. It keeps it hot enough to keep anything dead in it or any germs or whatever just fucking killed in it. So I used Mariah's Instapot to sterilize everything and injected those. I did a grain-to-grain transfer, but I haven't seen – that's just been a couple days, so I don't know how much it's done. The big bag is coming along. We got Halloween celebrations this Saturday, and typically that's a Patreon thing. I usually stream while the kids go trick-or-treating, and you guys hang out with me, and the kids go around and trick-or-treat. I usually do that to Patreon or subscribers or something. I just don't open it up completely public. And I guess that's it, guys. They're apparently they grow really easy in the wild with like nobody doing shit, but it's a lot harder when you bring them inside. I guess you got to be worried about contamination all the time. I've already got a contaminated bag, and I tried to be super careful about it, and it didn't happen until after I broke up the grain. So it may not even be contamination. I'm just super worried. Yeah, I guess that's it. If you want more information on the non-official, let's not tell the owner of the campground that we're doing a psychedelic retreat, hit me up, I guess. We'll see how that works out. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll check back in with fucking Phil's retarded ass later. Other than that, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the support. If you think the show deserves it, it's 100% funded by fans. I don't know if most people, I'm sure most people know that. Well, I'm not sure, but it's 100% funded by you guys. There's no way I could do it 7 nights a week without your guys' support. So if you feel like you deserved it, feel like you enjoyed it, got something out of it, please go to coldbeer.fund and support the show. I usually am not this aggressive about like call to action for people to donate, but for some reason this month has been poor for donations. I was just looking at the numbers of the day, and it's way behind what a typical month is. But it does go up and down, so I can't say it's super abnormal, but it is down. So if you feel like you enjoyed the show, want to keep it going 7 nights a week, go to coldbeer.fund and support the show. Other than that, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll see everybody on the next one. I'll be back tomorrow with a Patreon show. And I might do some, since I'm not doing a free show, I might try to do some TikTok videos on the mushrooms and the masks that I'm making. We'll see. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll see everybody on the next one. Patrons, I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody else, I'll see you on Friday on Kick. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have.
Yeah, well, I haven't been.
Call out.
To be fair, I don't think the donation thing has anything to do with anybody but me. Like, I've been super like down, depressed, in my head a lot, and I know that affects the content on my show. I know it affects me basically in everything I do. So that's probably the reason that the show isn't doing so well this month compared to other months. I've been really struggling with a lot of things, my parents and stuff going on. The change. I don't like the like stuff's moving too fast. The seasons are changing, and we're headed towards Christmas, which I fucking dread. Yeah, everything's just bad. I don't know. But that probably directly affects the support the show gets. But I can't help it right now.
Fucking profits who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammer.
Jay Reese on the outro song.
He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your Huckleberry.
My dad was a huge UT football fan, and the games going on, hearing people talk about them, and that bothers me. Everything bothers me. I want to call him. Like, there's probably, I bet you 100 times a day, I just think, man, I should call Dad and tell him about that. Just completely forget what's happened, and then I have to come to the realization, like, oh wait, you can't, and then I don't know.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the beds, you know that stage is set.
I like to show him. I like to tell him about the mushrooms.
Seen none yet.
He used to ask about Phil all the time too, but he could never remember his name. He'd be like, that fucking dumbass from up in Pennsylvania or whatever.
Some of us meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine.
He's a good dude.
Put on a light coat of baby oil and salute.
Have a good night, Jizzy McBride.
And said, this is gonna be it. Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me a... Oh, my God.
All right, I gotta go. We'll see you guys.
Here we go.